Belgium, a country with a rich history, cultural and linguistic diversity, and significant political status. Despite its modest size, this small yet influential nation has played a pivotal role in shaping the political, economic, and even military landscape of Europe. The capital of Belgium, Brussels, is considered the capital of the European Union and NATO. The headquarters of both organizations are located there. But this is not the only reason why Belgium is so important in our story. Today, we will try to delve into the history of Belgium's independence and answer the question of why, despite its modest size, this country played such a pivotal role at the very beginning of the conflict, the World War I. Let's go. At the beginning of the 19th century, Belgium was a part of the French Empire. Under French rule, local authorities had limited autonomy as power was concentrated in the hands of the French government and its appointed officials. Aristocratic privileges were abolished and the church faced persecution. Additionally, the French implemented military conscription measures which led to a peasants' revolt in 1798-1799. This revolt was met with harsh repression. But everything changed in 1815 after Napoleon's defeat at the Battle of Waterloo. After the emperor was sent to the island of St. Helena, the Congress of Vienna was convened. The biggest European powers of the anti-Napoleonic alliance, Austria, Russia, Prussia, and Great Britain, decided to elaborate a new layout of the European political order. And there were also some key points concerning the fate of Belgium. Great powers were not intended to leave Belgium as French territory. Instead, they decided to create a new state north of France that would serve as a deterrent for possible French desire to rematch and aimed to maintain European stability. There were varied sentiments among Belgians, with some favoring independence, while others preferred union with France or Austria. Ultimately, the formation of an independent Belgium was not widely advocated, and the Kingdom of the Netherlands was established, incorporating Belgium into its territory. Despite being a single state 3 centuries back, after the unification it became obvious that the newly formed kingdom was highly diversified. And starting from the unification, social unrest only increased. There were several reasons for that. The linguistic reform. Dutch became the official language of the state. However, this reform was met with strong opposition from the upper classes, who at that time were mostly French-speaking, whether they came from Flanders or Wallonia. Additionally, Flemish speakers themselves who did not speak standard Dutch but their own dialects also opposed the reform. The religious issue. Northern Dutch conservatives aimed to maintain Protestant dominance in government appointments, while Belgian conservatives sought to reinstate Catholicism as the state religion. This led to tensions over the coexistence of two state religions. Disproportionate representation in the General Assembly. Despite Belgium having a larger population, both Belgium and Holland had an equal number of representatives in the Estates General. This meant that Belgians were underrepresented compared to their Dutch counterparts. For comparison, in 1815 there were about 2.2 million Dutch and 3.4 million Belgians. Lack of opportunities. There was an imbalance in the army between Belgians and Dutch. While there was a disproportionately high contingent of Belgian soldiers, the proportion of Belgians among the officers was low. Additionally, most officers were Dutch or former officers from the French or British armies, leading to a situation where the majority of Belgian soldiers were commanded by officers who were not originally from the southern Netherlands. The central authorities, including the King William I, were reluctant to make any changes in the state of affairs, and the demands for more autonomy from Belgian representatives were predominantly ignored. All the factors led to the ignition of social unrest in the southern regions of the kingdom, predominantly populated by Belgians. The catalyst and significant factor for decisive movements was the July Revolution in France in 1830. The most active groups of Belgian society, namely Catholics and liberal activists, realized that the time had come. On August 25, 1830, an uprising erupted. Protesters took to the streets, capturing key points in the city and organizing themselves against Dutch forces. Despite efforts by the King William I to restore order, his troops were unable to retake Brussels in the ensuing street fighting. A provisional Belgian government was formed on September 25, 1830, followed by the proclamation of the country's independence on October 4th, which later was reaffirmed by the National Congress on November 10th. In November 1830, the National Congress of Belgium drafted a constitution establishing Belgium as a popular constitutional monarchy. Despite preparation for war by William I, intervention by the great powers led to an armistice on December 20th. In August 1831, the Parliament of Belgium chose the king. The 40-year-old Prince Leopold of Saxe-Coburg-Saalfeld became the King of Belgium under the name of Leopold I. Only several days after Leopold's coronation as the King of Belgium, the Dutch launched an invasion known as the 10 Days Campaign to quash Belgian independence. They swiftly captured key cities like Antwerp and inflicted defeat on Belgian forces, prompting panic and a mass exodus of civilians. Belgium seemed on the brink of collapse. The Belgian government sought international support to prevent the total disintegration of the Belgian army. Despite British reluctance to send troops, France immediately dispatched forces into Belgium without consulting other powers. The French army crossed the border, posing a threat to the Dutch and potentially escalating the situation into a wider conflict. However, British diplomatic intervention persuaded the Dutch to halt their advance, leading to a ceasefire signed on August 12. Although the local conflicts continued, the war didn't ignite the big European confrontation. The Kingdom of the Netherlands would recognize Belgium's independence in 1839. The year 1839 is a pivotal year in the context of the World War I. This year, the Treaty of London was signed. It not only ended the war between the Netherlands and Belgium, but also guaranteed Belgium's independence and neutrality, and was signed by all the major European powers: Great Britain, Austria, France, Russia, and Prussia. Nevertheless, in 1814, the German government violated such a pledge. The German officials sought to use Belgium as a route to attack France, but the Belgians refused to cooperate and let the German army through. Consequently, the German Empire attacked Belgium at the beginning of August 1814. This event led not only to violation of its promise to guarantee the independence of Belgium, but also led to the involvement of another significant power in the war, the British Empire.